Welcome to the Plaquemine Parish Council meeting. We're going to have roll call. All councilmen here except Councilman LaFrance. He, along with the parish president, is at a conference. At this time, we're going to have the prayer by Councilman Champagne, and we'll have the pledge by Councilman Newsom.
Take this moment to acknowledge Almighty God and thank Him for our bountiful blessings, especially for the parish's natural resources. We give thanks to God for our brave and courageous men and women in our military who daily risk their lives to protect our precious freedom, and we pray for world leaders to know how to obtain world peace. We pray that this government body, comprised of both council and administration, will always serve our parish with honesty, humility, and equality to all. And as this government body gathers here today, we pray for the wisdom to know right from wrong and the courage to do that which is right. We also want to keep the LaBeouf family in our prayers and keep them close and wish them Godspeed as Mr. Paul LaBeouf makes his way to heaven. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we have executive session, as all of us can see, we have some very, 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 very special guests in the house. And I know Mr. Habo and Mitch will join that because we have Plaquemine Parish champions in the house. In the house. And so I don't want to take the thunder from Mr. Habo or Mitch, and the Colton is not here. And so I don't know if they want to say anything before we do the proclamation, but I at least want to give you all that honor because if it was District 1, I'll be talking for an hour. But is he on?
3 proclamations.
No, he don't want to speak first. He's on.
Oh, okay. You on? Hold on. Let me get to it.
Open it up.
Oh,
Offer.
okay.
Go ahead and read it.
Offered by,
Go ahead and
Everybody
read.
on?
Yeah.
Okay. A proclamation declaring January 9th, 2025 as South Plaquemines High Day and Parish of Plaquemines.
Like to make a unanimous offer and a unanimous second. That's okay with everybody.
No objection.
well done. Okay.
Machines are open.
All councilmen present, except LaFrance is voting yes. So we accept the proclamation. Any comments for Mr. Habo or?
Yes. I'd like to congratulate y'all. I've never played on a championship team, but I coached one, and I know how hard it is to get there. And for a team the size of South Plaquemines to go against the big boys in the world, because, you know, Burris was the same way, little team, and, you know, it's a great accomplishment y'all did. And, you know, Plaquemines Parish, Bellchase does have one, but it took the boys from down the road to go up there to win one. So I'm not going to get on them too bad, but just congratulations. You know, you part of a team that not many people are a part of, and congratulations.
Mitch?
Yes, it's going to be hard to top Habo over here, you know, but just want to say it was an honor to be at that dome and see the crowd y'all brought. It was like a mini Saints game on our sidelines. The other team may have come in much bigger, much more intimidating, but they didn't have the heart y'all had. Y'all really came in because I know they thought they had this. Boy, was they surprised. And Coach Lau, you got your revenge. I know you were waiting many years for this. The one thing I do have to say in watching y'all play, y'all never got down. Y'all never, even though you might have got behind for a minute, you never gave up. And towards the end, the strength really came out. That's the strength of Plaquemines Parish, and y'all brought it to the Dome. And I want to thank y'all very much. We're so proud of y'all. Y'all don't just represent down the road, y'all represent up the road. You represent the parish as a whole. We're one parish, and we couldn't be more proud of what y'all did. Thank y'all very much. Congratulations.
Luther?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, two wonderful gentlemen on my left, both compliments. As they both said, it really was an exciting event at the Superdome. It was what you guys brought the community together, wherever you was from. It didn't really matter. It was such a community event, saw a lot of folks there. I want to thank you guys for, look, it's hard work. Coach, you put in the hours, all your assistants, your staff, a lot of work. You know, and boys, it's a lot of work you guys. As a student athlete, it's people don't understand what you got to go to practice, then you got to do your schoolwork, then it's a lot of other stuff that nobody really knows what's going, that really everybody doesn't really understand. But again, thank you guys so much for the effort, the time, the work you put in. Again, Coach, thank you, and to your staff. Make sure that we were so proud of them. Like as Mitch said, as a Plaquemines Parish event. I know it was a wonderful thing. Thank you and congratulations.
Yes, so went to y'all's last two games. That semifinal game where it was very cold, y'all got down a little bit, but y'all fought back. Team effort, great job on that game. In the Dome, I don't think I can really add any more. I mean, we had tons of crowds. Y'all represent the whole parish. Great job, great team effort throughout the year. Y'all never gave up. Y'all fought together as a team. Coach, congratulations and great job.
It's really a great honor for you guys to win, because when you look at other schools, you see that they have a large population to pull people from, to find talent. But you guys, you have to have the grit. You have to have the willingness to learn and the willingness to step into different roles. I'm sure more of you play more than one position, right? So that is a testament to the talent that you have as individuals. And don't forget that in the future of your life, because you're going to carry this. This is not just for this football game. This is character building. This is something that you're going to fall on, refer back to when you're in a tight bind further on in your life. Remember that you can do anything because you already did it. Okay.
Reverend Edwards. Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
Yeah, just one thing, I still bleed green and gold. And being a graduate of Buras, I think the community is even stronger now with Plaquemines South. What brings a small community together, and you have to admit it, is what is the focus of that community? And from August to December, the football teams are the focus. And from personal experience, I want to let you know that I have to echo some of what Ms. McCarty said. What you've accomplished this year will carry you through the rest of your life. You're not going to forget it, and your community is never going to forget it. So that's something to look forward to. The community looks up to you because of what you've done. So congratulations, and keep rolling. I'm the councilman up here from Belle Chase, and I'll tell you, you guys have showed something that was amazing. The commitment, the drive, the determination, and the heart that you guys put on the field could not be matched. And that comes from coming from a tight-knit, small community. not only in the low end of the parish, but this entire parish. You guys have an opportunity to take all these lessons you learned and apply them to everything you do in life in the future. And I will challenge you, please mentor the youth coming up, and let them know all the things that you did and how hard you had to work, and teach them to follow in your footsteps so we can have many more championships from all corners of this parish. Coaches, I want to thank you for what you did with these young men, because it's tough to take individual minds and bring them together and to function as one. And your accomplishment was magnanimous. It was awesome. So thank you for what you do. And without you, we wouldn't have a great team that we have. So thanks again.
I'd just like to say that, like Dr. Bowie said, this is going to follow you for the rest of your life. He was the quarterback of the 1966 championship team, and I bet you people still go up to him and tell him how great that game was. So you'll be living it up for the rest of your life.
Administration.
On behalf of President Hinckley, congratulations to your team. I hate to have my back to you all. I just want to speak here. Congratulations to your team on your championship victory. Your hard work and dedication has brought pride to our community. While he regrets that he was unable to be here to attend today's celebration due to a prior commitment, he wants you to know that he was there to witness your incredible victory at the Dome. He celebrates your achievement and wishes you continued success. Well done. You made us proud.
And as I said to your coach, as I said to, oh, yes, I'm sorry, Ms. Taylor.
I'm on. Yeah. I know Shanta have spoke on behalf of the administration, but to my baby cousin Lau, I'm so proud of you and your team. I'm a down-the-road girl, fighting Broncos, but I'll cheer for the Hurricanes too. I'm an alumni from down there. I still have the dirt between my toes, down the road dirt, no matter where I'm at. We are so proud of you as a family. You know, Clarice was on the phone the whole while y'all were playing. Mama, where they're at, what they're doing, until she finally got it on her TV in Texas. Congratulations to you all. We're so proud of you all.
I don't know what to say behind the dirt still in the toes. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Ms. Taylor, can you pull your shoes off? I want to see it.
That's all right, it's there.
Let me just say this, as I told your coach, you have history in your coach. What better history can you have your coach? Someone who played in a championship team and to come back and bring you to that. So that's the example for all of y'all. And so what you accomplished is accomplishment for all the Plaquemine Parish. And so we are just so proud. We are just so proud of you bringing this history to Plaquemine Parish, and future generation will remember the accomplishment you made for our parish. So again, let's give our champion a round of applause.
I think maybe we should stand up here with David.
One around over here, guys.
I don't know if you're going to do it last or next.
We can bunch up.
Use my work.
Congratulations. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
Tight. Thank you. Tight.
Tight, tight right here, maybe I'll switch. Forward. Is that tight?
Told you, everybody wants to go with Hero.
come
And
down.
I'm so sorry, we have the principal here with us, and I didn't recognize her. Please, let's recognize the principal.
Should she be in the coach?
Yes.
In the picture?
Come a little forward, come closer here.
Should the principal be in the picture?
She's there.
Oh, I'm thinking this would be right.
You got eyeballs.
Small guys. You're famous, remember?
Mitch, how about
Hey, don't think because we're female, I don't play football. I had to play basketball.
You hit the nail on the
And
head.
the strawberries were.
Yeah.
Everybody looks good. Ready? Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Okay, wait 1 second.
We're gonna recognize this lady, right?
Good.
And then we're good.
We going back to executive session?
The middle school's doing okay.
How many ways they won?
Like to call the meeting back to order again. Again, we want to congratulate South Platte on the championship. I want to recognize a guest we have with us from the Attorney General Officer, and I hope I'm saying Ali McGinnis. You want to say anything or just want to stand up, whatever, you're welcome to.
I'll just say something really brief, if you don't mind. Thank
Yes.
you, guys. I know this wasn't planned, so I appreciate it. Like you said, Allie McGinnis is my name. I am with the Department of Justice. I'm here on behalf of General Liz Murrell, and I am a representative for Plaquemines Parish, along with 8 other parishes. So I live right over in Orleans, and I'm in this whole southern area on behalf of the General. So I just wanted to come and briefly introduce myself. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with what our department does, but my cards, I gave Ms. Kim a stack of my cards, and please reach out to us if there's anything at all that we can do. We're doing an initiative right now involving anti-vaping, which is focused towards 5th and 6th graders. So we've been going into schools, doing some really successful presentations there, along with presentations on elder fraud, which has unfortunately been a big issue. And the list goes on and on. So if you have any questions, please reach out. And thank you again for letting me come introduce myself.
Thank you for being here. And I just want to acknowledge Sister Virgie Ankelord here. Most of you don't know, but you should know her. She's been a part of this community for many years before the 5-member council, and participated in the movement to change us to 9 single member. And so I just always honored to have her in her presence, and I think she should be recognized. So Virgie Ankelord, thank you for being here with us. And the history, we did a proclamation for her last year, Virgie Ankelord Day. And she one of the many people I've been on about not coming to meeting, and she made a commitment that she's going to start coming to meetings. So thank you for Virgie for honoring your promise. So anyway, I think we're going into executive session. Yes. 11C, hold on. I missed it. Huh? 11C. You have 11C?
11C. Discussion by Rhonda Arsenault regarding lawsuit.
Good afternoon. My name's Rhonda Arsenault. I live at 142 Commodore Lane in Buras. The last time I was up here, I addressed the council about an ordinance that was put in place. Was March 28, 2024, last year. I haven't heard anything from, it's almost a year. I haven't heard anything. The ordinance was passed October 22nd, 2020. My lawsuit, my judgment was won, I want to say in 2010. I'm not good with the dates right now. But when y'all put this ordinance in place for you to take half of the money that we have to give up, 50% of, the judgment, plus the interest, plus court fees and all of that stuff. Well, after I give up 50% of my judgment winnings, that leaves me with $500 and something thousand. Okay? That's not paying my lawyer, and that's us living off of it, the rest of our lives. My husband can't work. He's been disabled since this happened. I don't think the ordinance is right. I don't think anybody thought about inflation. Prices going up. I don't think people thought about that. They just want to put something in place and say, oh, sign this, and if you sign this, we're just going to take half your money, and that's it. It's not right. Something has to be done. It's okay if I had a little bit money, but we settled for $1,662, something like that, $1,062,000. 50% of the judgment gives me $531,000. 35% of that's got to go to my lawyer. The rest of that we have to live off on. Can y'all do that? Y'all can't live off of that. You can't do it. It needs to be readdressed. It needs to be looked at. This has been since 2008. And I can't wait no more. Things are bad. And it's just, the right thing has to be done. Like you told the kids, your character counts. Well, if we're going to show them our character right now with this, that's not showing them anything or teaching them anything. I just address it. Look at it. Look at the case. Read it. And I don't want to hear, oh, we don't have money. Y'all have more money now than when this happened. Y'all can pull money from other places. I have to find money when I need food or gas or, I have to find the money. I just think enough is enough. And just please recognize me, something, a phone call, anything. Just please read this, read it. It wasn't meant for the parish people. It was meant for the council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on, I think Mr. Mitch wanted.
Yes, I would like to possibly revisit this and see if we can come up with some kind of, look at this case again. I mean, I've looked into it. This was a pretty bad accident. It was, negligence on, I think it was a DOTD and the parish's part back then. And, I put myself or my family member in this position and to fall in a manhole, an open manhole.
My son was 5 years old. He's 25 now.
And to fall in an open manhole cover, that's negligence on not only the Department of Transportation, but the parish as well. I know we since we a governing body, we can make the rules, bend the rules. But I would like this to be looked at, Mr. LV, if we can bring this back up and see what we can do. I mean, this is going on a long, Mr. Cooley, I'm sorry. Yeah. Colbert. I'm just trying. I get it right. I could have called you Rennie from the get-go. But sorry about that. But anyway, I think I would like to see this revisited because, I know the Cormandells. I know, grew up with them. And, the one judgment is, I think if I'm not mistaken, the state did pay.
Yes, they settled. The parish didn't want to settle. They wanted to go to court. They could have settled for I wanted to say 600,000, 700,000, but they wanted to take it to court. I went to court, Judge Connor.
And you got a ruling.
And we got the judgment, yes.
I think it's only fair that we look at this situation, as parish residents, as people who've lived here all their life, and we're lucky it didn't end up worse. I think you
And the
talked about
problem is that-
I'm talking right now, but I want to,
I'm sorry.
I want to bring up the fact that, yes, you had, a young 5-year-old child, if he'd have fell in this hole in the dark with nobody around, nobody would have known where he's at. I've seen these open manholes throughout the parish, and that's something we need to pay attention to. And I wasn't, part of any council that made any decisions on ordinances back then. But I do know, things do happen, and when judgments are rendered, sometimes I think we need to look at this and really, give it some thought. So I'm going to try and see if we can maybe get this re-looked at. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
And let me just say this, I think I've talked to you and I talked to Mr. Hobble, and I know Mr. Hobble personally has talked to the parish attorney and asked them to really look at it because it's really beyond our control. We have a lot of people in the same situation you are who have big judgment and mid-settlement. I don't know what your lawyer is doing on it, but again, I think Mr. Hobble, like Ms. Stan and I have been saying the same thing, we can look at it, but I don't want to say and make any promise to you. As I told you before, I understand what you're going through, but again, it's really going to be up to our legal staff to look at what's really happening. I agree with Mitch, we got to look at that process, but the process that we're looking at, I wanted to go beyond you, but it's a process for everybody. We can't create one process. Whatever process we create, we got to make sure it's benefit for everybody. We don't have to wait a long time. The formula, how we looked at it, and I think that's what Mitch is talking about, how we look at the formula. But about a parish, you have a lot of money as many other people in your same situation. So I just want to let you know, Hobble and I, he's been talking to me over and over, and I said, what could be done, anything that we can do. And I think all other councilmen will take the same position, that if we can help you get more, we're in support of it. But the lead for us, is what our parish attorney does. So I just want to make it clear, whatever they come up with, that's usually make the decision for us, and we're bonded by that.
Yeah, I understand that, but the only thing the parish attorney wants me to do is sign the paper, and you get half my money. And
no, I understand. I'm just saying, I just want to let you know, while many other councilmen saying, but that's the position we in, and we really have empathy for you. Mr. Conovich?
Time when this ordinance passed, I forget how many lawsuits they had, over 20. And most of them were small money, and Rennie wanted to do that to get rid of them. So now that we at a point where the people that still have lawsuits don't want to accept this, we need to move on and say, hey, we need to do something else, not just stay here stuck in one position.
So my suggestion, Mr. Conovich, is that we send something to legal around the position of the council on that, and then hopefully it's become favorable to your family.
thank you.
You're welcome. So with that being said, we can go into executive session. Are you ready to go into executive session? We're going to executive session. I've offered that we go into executive session. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay.
Executive session pursuant to LRS 4217A2 for the purpose of receiving attorney-client privileged information regarding the recent judgment issued by Judge Kevin Connor concerning Clean Tank Solutions LLC, 25th JDC case number 67345, attorneys Bill Culver, LV Cooley, and Jacques Tozet. Councilmember Edwards.
Offer, can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Roll call. All present voting yes, with Mr. France absent. We're now going to executive session. And we're going to the executive session at exactly 2:30 p.m. Session at 2:45 with no binding decision was made. We brought back to our agenda.
For administration updates.
I'll start that. Look, I sent the updates out to you guys on Monday, but I did have one update to make on that, and that was in reference to the Empire Swing Bridge. Empire Swing Bridge is still out. They are still waiting on those parts. They keep checking tracking. It says it'll be here tomorrow by end of day, but we've heard that 3 other times as well. So it keeps changing, but we are still calling that company pretty much every other day to see what the answer is, when they're going to show up. So hopefully it's coming through this time. And as soon as the parts get here, they're going to jump right on it. That's all I have from operations.
Anyone else in administration?
At this time, there are no new program, event, or service updates since the last regular council meeting for recreation.
That's it. Mitch?
All right,
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
anyone from the audience?
Clarence Brox, 156 Enos Cameron Lane. I just want to know from Billy, what's all the information was sent from to y'all, but we don't know what was sent to y'all. So can you give us a little update on what's going on?
It was basically a repeat from the last meeting. No updates were done. It was
all right.
boat harbors and all that. So nothing changed, so we don't need to repeat it every meeting.
All right, sound good.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Mitch?
Yes, Shanta, we still looking at possibly February 19th as a ribbon cutting date for the Empire Shipyard? Okay. You got to talk to me loud.
It's going to be on the 19th, tentative for 10 a.m. We was just waiting for clearance on that, but I think we're going to be good to go.
Okay.
We just was waiting to hear back from David, about making sure everything was
Be sure
finalized and
everything
good,
was in place. I
finalized and
think-
good to go.
We still have a few things left to do, but hopefully we can get somebody there in place to do something. I do know they did a test run, was it Tuesday? And we found a couple extra things that need to be done. But hopefully we're on track for Wednesday.
For
because-
Wednesday,
yeah,
that's it.
that
If anything changes, you'll let
We
us
need
know.
to-
I
we
wanted
need
to
to know
put the
ASAP.
notification out today, but I'm still waiting. So tomorrow I'll know for sure.
Okay.
Then I'll get it out to the public and everybody else.
Thank you.
Just FYI, one of the questionable things is the pilings at the end of the slip.
Mm-hmm.
That won't likely be there, but in my opinion, you can do that ribbon cutting without those there. You don't want to shut the whole thing down waiting just because, yeah.
No,
Okay.
I agree. I think February 19th, as long as we
That's
can
okay?
go.
Okay.
Whether we got the bumpers in place or the pilings in place, we need to move forward. We can do limited pickups. I think
Okay.
they got the blocks delivered yesterday at the shipyard, so they do have extra blocks in place. But we're looking forward to it because everybody's been patiently waiting, and it's been hard to keep them patient. And Ashley, I think I tried to reach out to you, those garbage cans, you had some information on that for the Y in Port Sulphur. Did you have any information on those?
I was confused as to which trash cans you were talking about. I thought you were speaking of Empire, so I
No,
called your
it was
office
the Port
to get
Sulphur Y.
clarification, because we went there to drop them, and they had trash cans everywhere at Empire.
Right.
so-
No, this was the
but it
Port Sulphur Y.
Sulphur
Sorry about that. They got a metal a couple of the metal things, and I think the bottom's falling out and there's no inner liners or nothing in them, so.
So there are already cans that are like stationary in place?
They were, but the bottoms rusted out, so they actually
Okay,
need
that's
use.
what we were asking.
Yeah,
That's what we
no,
were
I'm
thinking.
sorry about that. I thought I made that clear when we talked about it.
No, that's okay. I just missed the information, so we'll get on that. I'll get with Billy and see what we need to do. I may have to find some budget and order some if they're the ones that are already stationary, but we'll work on it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Shanta, as soon as you know, for the ribbon cutting, please let me know, because I think that's the day we're trying to do the ribbon cutting for the ferry, if everything, reopening Point Lahash Ferry. So it's not a problem, we can work around it, but we don't want to schedule something at the same time. I mean, that's if everything goes as planned.
They're gonna know soon? You think they're gonna?
Stuff has started yesterday moving into position, so we'll know within the next couple days.
By the end of this
So yeah, just as soon as you know, send it to me where we can make sure we don't conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ashley, I just want to reach out and thank you to the, for working with me with the sign and stuff we got on, so we sent you back an email. So just again, thanks for that and helping us out, and we'll get that moving for the quad. It's on, for the dedication. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I want to thank the, Kim Buck is not here, but they actually put the rocks on the levees from Phoenix to White Dish. I got back from Washington this morning, I run, I looked up and said, oh, the rocks. And so it really look good, so really appreciate, and I appreciate every council member for agreeing, for allowing us to rock the levee from Phoenix. Did you see that, Mr. Brock? Okay, I just want to be sure. So I just want to thank the administration for that, Mr. Conover.
Yeah, I know Jeff's not here, but I met with him a month ago about where to put the plaque at the pavilion.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
and still ain't up, but I'd like to see it get up where we could have our own ribbon cutting ceremony.
Did you all finalize the location? or-
Yes, ma'am.
You did, okay.
And we're going to come to your ribbon cutting ceremony, okay?
Yes, I got one more thing to say. Working with Mr. Marco over the past few months, she kind of introduced us to a few people. The Oyster Task Force, she came to a meeting, more about 6 months ago, I guess, and talked about a couple Super Bowl events that the Oyster Task Force may be interested in participating in. She was also instrumental working with the Tourism Board of getting, which you could see when I passed over the overpass, to see the Plaquemines mural on the WDSU building. But her contact, with her help in getting us a contact, the Oyster Task Force, Patty, you were there. We were able to be a vendor at the governor's watch party, Super Bowl watch party Sunday night. A huge success. A big shout out to our Louisiana oyster industry for being there. There was about 400 people plus that attended that event. It was very well attended, and the oysters, especially Plaquemines Parish oysters, were represented well. I know you want some of your St. Bernard in there. You might have had a crowd from St. Bernard, but it was Plaquemines Parish oysters that shined that night. Just thank you, Kelly, for hooking that up for us.
And thank you, Mitch, for inviting me.
Speaking of oysters, I left a Croatian Festival donation by each one of y'all's desks. Appreciate if y'all could give, and I'll have some more copies right here if you need one. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to add to the Oyster Task Force that it's great to have Plaquemines represented at events that invite companies from out of state to attend. So if there are more opportunities like that, I think the tourism or any company from here, it would be great to have Plaquemines represented. And the Oyster Task Force did a great job.
You two, Ms. Conover? Okay. All right, can we bring back to the agenda?
5, bids and advertisements. A resolution authorizing the acceptance of bids for furnishing river pump sand for parish-wide use and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Offered. It's been offered second. Yeah, second, Mr. Conovich. Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Brox?
Only reason why I want to say that, or I'm gonna comment on this, because y'all saying we're gonna get sand from Mississippi River. We're not gonna pump no sand out of the river, right? Because we gotta remember the Gulf still gonna come this way. We keep taking sand out of the river, or we're gonna get that sand from Mississippi or some way. I know, but is he gonna pump it out of the Mississippi River? And if I remember, Mr. Jury, District 8 Councilman, that said we need to stop that digging sand out of the Mississippi River and bring that salt water into the Mississippi River.
No, yes, we understand is that's coming off of the sandbars and stuff. They got sand deposits where they dredge these pits. But that's, the river's got to be maintained to an average depth of, I think now 50 foot, 55 foot. So no matter what, there's maintenance dredging, something we can't stop for shipping.
Yeah.
So that's what they use. They use these borrow pits in the river. They dig them out, and as they fill back in, they allow it to go ahead and suck them back out. But yeah, we're worried about salt water all the time. Don't worry.
As long as y'all aware of it, that's all that's the only reason why I came back up. Thank you.
Anyone else on the audience? Yes.
Well, I mean, have a time limit?
Oh, you definitely have a time. It's on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to waste any
You can look up there and see your time.
I'm not going to waste any time giving any background information.
Can you give us your name and address, please?
My name is Kenneth Ragus, on 1311 Holiday Place, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70114. I am 100% in favor of dredging from the river, from the Gulf, from Breton Sound, wherever we need to get dirt to save our parish. And this is one time when a little bit of this can happen. So I support it 100%. I'm a property owner on the East Bank and the West Bank. I left after Hurricane Katrina wiped my home out, which I lived since 1943. And I love the parish. I support all of y'all. And I was trying to get on.
This is about a bid.
I'm sorry.
I think you're getting off subject. This is about a bid.
For the sand, for putting sand.
Okay, I'll support whatever it takes to pump dirt. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Right. Machine open. Take administration. Machine open. And it passes 8 with Councilman LaFrance absent. Next item, please.
6, beer and liquor licenses, SPCA Golf Cart Parade on March 9th, 2025, starting at 11 a.m. and ending at 4:30 p.m. Councilmember Schultz.
Been offered. Second by who? A unanimous second. Yeah. You think, audience? Sheen open. All present voting, Mr. France is absent. Next item, please.
7, building permits, 7A construction permits, Locks LLC, application number 2025-2, proposed 4 4-inch flow lines and 2 2-inch gas lift lines to produce the Coke Heel Prospects A1, A2, B1, B2, Wells, Grand Bay. Councilmember Edwards.
Can we read them all? Can we do all of them? Okay. Offer. It's second by Mr. George. Audience? Administration?
Yeah. It's because that gas line, that pipeline, it's gonna be 4 inches, 4 foot, 4 inches, or 4 by 4, whatever that means. Look like. Oh, that's what it is. 4. All right. So these lines gonna go, and like I said, you're gonna pump oil and gas from somewhere way out. So y'all, I just want you to know, I'm really concerned about this because we're gonna be pumping a lot of oil and gas out of the Gulf, and I never did my research, but once that oil and gas leave, there will be a pocket there. Is that ever gonna close in with the Gulf water, or what's gonna happen? Anything gonna replace that pocket when all that stuff come out? It's just gonna collapse. As long as y'all know, that's all I want to say. Good chance it will collapse.
Okay. Anyone else? Machine is open. Passes with Mr. LaFrane's absent. Next permit. Oh, we can take the next three in global.
I would like to take B separate.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna take B separate.
I just got a question.
Okay.
Which one we taking separate?
B, please.
Oh,
Do B
okay.
first.
Lauren Austin, conditional approval for additional 13 spaces to existing temporary RV park, 27418 Highway 23, spaces DP, Port Sulphur, Louisiana. Councilmember LaFrance.
I've been offered. Who's offering? Who's offering?
Just calling for this. Can we do that without this?
He did not tell me about permits, he just told me legislation.
Let me offer it for discussion. Can I get a second? Okay. So this is just for discussion.
All right, this. Floor. Oh, floor first. Yeah.
Anyone from the floor? Okay, Mitch?
All right, yeah, this was brought to my attention a couple weeks ago. There were 3 additional spots added to this park without conditional use, so he already started kind of building on it before it came before us. So he was shut down and told he's got to get it, conditional use first. I was a little disappointed because the answer I got was, I knew I was doing wrong, I was just trying to get away with it. So this is a problem we got. Now, the moratorium is in place, but he did have his application in prior to the moratorium. So I wanted to answer that for you, Chris. But he is trying to come into compliance now, which we allowing people who are not in compliance to come into compliance. I just wanted to bring that up. That's why I wanted to go separate on it, because, he did try to move forward with a few extra spots before he even applied for the conditional use. I think he had a problem with his original conditional use, and the permit office sent it back, so it never came to us. I just wanted to explain that.
Okay, so you answered my question about moratorium, but my next question, I guess we'll deal with it when we vote on it, is he admitted that he was doing wrong, and now we're basically going to approve him, even though he already admitted that he did wrong. I mean, that we gotta set a precedent, and basically that's what everybody's going to do until they get caught, is what so I yield.
So I'm going to withdraw this and defer because he's not here. Can we do the C, D, E, and F?
Blue Tiger RV Park, Sun Nak Nguyen, conditional approval for 22 spaces, 36733 Highway 11, Triumph, Louisiana. Glenda Grin, new residence in FP Zoning District 104, Johnson Street, Port Sulphur, Louisiana. Ducks Fireworks, Donald Durr Fireworks Stand Renewal for 2025, 9127 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana. Ducks Fireworks, Donald Durr Fireworks Stand Renewal for 2025, 9590 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana. No, I read that, yeah. What y'all want me to do? C and D? Okay.
I'm sorry, take out the fireworks? So take out E, and we do. Or E and F, okay.
Blue Tiger RV Park, Sun Nok Nguyen, conditional approval for 22 spaces, 36733 Highway 11, Triumph, Louisiana. Glenda Green, new residence in FP Zoning District 104, Johnson Street, Port Sulphur, Louisiana.
Second by Mr. Newsom. Audience, table, machine is open. And it passed with all council members present voting. Next item.
Ducks Fireworks, Donald Durr Fireworks Stand Renewal for 2025, 9127 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana. Ducks Fireworks, Donald Durr Fireworks Stand Renewal for 2025, 9590 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana.
Offers, who did offer? Dr. Good? And second by Patty. Audience, administration, table. Machine is open. All council members present voting yes. Next item.
8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. I got you.
The following two ordinances are for Councilmember Edwards. An ordinance to amend the 2025 General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget, Council on Aging Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2025 General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget, Legal Judgments Department for final judgment settlements for qualified judgment creditors, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next one is for Councilmember Champagne. An ordinance authorizing the parish president to execute fair and festival cooperative endeavor agreements with the Plaquemines Social Aid and Pleasure Club, Plaquemines Parish Heritage and Seafood Festival, Plaquemines Parish Orange Festival, and the Plaquemines Community Development Group, and the Croatian American Society at his discretion, depending on the availability and need to allocate certain PPG property and resources to those organizations hosting said festivals in conformity with Article 3 of Chapter 17.5 of the Parish Code of Ordinances, and otherwise to provide. Councilmember Champagne.
Okay.
And otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next one is for Councilmember Gooey, a resolution confirming the appointment and nomination of Attorney-at-Law Stephen F. Babin by the parish president to be hearing officer for the abatement administrative adjudication proceedings pursuant to and in conformity with Chapter 24 of the Parish Code of Ordinances, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next one is for Councilmember McCarty, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, overlay Epsilon Street project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next the next 4 are for Councilmember LaFrance. An ordinance to amend and as amended readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as amended, and the Comprehensive Zoning District Map therein adopted by reference, which is paraph thereto, with reference to application number 2025-566 dated January 8th, 2025, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, replacement water line, Highway 23, Port Sulphur project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, Port Sulphur water treatment plant, clear well replacement project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 2020, I'm assuming this needs to be 24 and not 22, General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget, Coastal Zone Management Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next 2 are for Councilmember Jurisic. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, waterline extension, Cedar Grove to Oakville project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And finally, an ordinance to amend and as amended readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the comprehensive zoning map. I'm sorry. the zoning ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana as amended, the comprehensive zoning district map therein adopted by reference and which is paraphrased thereto with reference to application number 2025-565 dated December 19th, 2024, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The last one is for Councilmember Kanovich, an ordinance approving the extension of lease between Plaquemines Parish government and shipyard service pursuant to LARS 41:1217, with all its requirements having been fulfilled by lessee without any cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the parish of Plaquemines, and without warranty of title by Plaquemines Parish government, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto, and that is it.
Before you come with ordinance, can we get anybody have any deferrals that we don't know about? And then Kim can read those off. You got all the deferrals?
Wait. Okay. We have 9B,
Listen to the deferral, gentlemen.
9B, 9D is in dog, 9E, 9P is withdrawn, and that is it. Sure.
Can you repeat that again, just
Yep,
to make sure?
Will do. 9B is in boy, 9D is in dog, I'm sorry, not 9E. I think I said that before. No, 9E. I'm sorry.
D and E.
D and E.
So not D? There we go. B, D, E,
Okay.
up from top again.
And P withdraw. That's it. So, C? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, one more time, because I'm confusing my own self right now. B is in boy. D is in dog.
No, C, you just said C,
I
right?
said C. Sorry, Chris.
B,
Gonna
C.
try this one more time. B is in boy. C. D is in dog. G.
You got E. 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 C after D.
B, C, D, E. All deferred.
Just do everything, yeah.
F2,
Okay.
yes.
F.
And then, let's see. Q and R, right?
So we got B, C, D, E, and F.
Your two, Mitch, are you deferring?
Okay.
So which one?
Q and R
Okay.
Q and R is
is deferred,
defer.
Right.
right?
Well, that's why we're trying to get them all, so
Yeah, I know.
we can just ask for adjournment.
Got it.
So okay, one more time so the audience can follow where we at again. So you basically have B, C, D, E, F, and then I'm lost after that.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Y'all want me to call them out?
Yes.
Please.
Okay.
Everybody doing it.
Okay, we have B, C, D, E, F, G, Q, and R is the third. And we have a withdrawal, P,
And that should be it.
and that is it.
All right. All right. Let's take a minute. Okay. Let's revert back to the agenda.
Ordinances and resolutions on second reading and final passage. Ordinances and public hearings pursuant to Article 6, Section 601E of the Plaquemines Parish Charter. An ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of Arbella Realty LLC Lot 4A2, Concord Canal Subdivision, Belchase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, Section 17, T14S R24E into lots 4A3, 4A4, 4A5, 4A6, and 4A7. Concord Canal Subdivision, Belchase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, Section 17, T14S R24E, as shown on the plan and plat of survey by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering Incorporated, dated October 15th, 2024. The owners having fulfilled all of the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Newsom.
The second by Mr. Champagne. Comments from the audience? State your name and address for the record.
Rick Jackson, Gondrella Drive, Belchase. Hey, I'm very much against this. Again, I'll say it again. Just in the last year, we've got one little street there, Concord, that tees into Belchase Highway. Coming around the corner, this is supposed to be 45, but people come around that corner going 80. We're putting 44 housing units there. I brought this up in another meeting, but it seems to just go. But anyway, there's got to be some proactive stuff done, because all those people coming out of that 44 unit house is going to try to U-turn right there. Plus, we've got over 100 additions to that Concord Road in the Big Dog, Cypress Wood Trailer Park, and then this one here will be, including the houses, the long-term residents that have been back there for 30 or 40 years, brings it up to about 200 people, 200 houses, 2 or 3 cars at each house coming out of that one street right there on the corner with no, you got people trying to make U-turns and all. So I've got serious concerns. Thank God my kids are grown and gone, because it's a dangerous intersection for myself. And it's not going to get any better with the amount of traffic we see in there now. Big Dog is full. I still think that this is not going to be anything other than just subdivided and put trailers. That's the information that I understand that's going to be in there. If it was a neighborhood, if it was housing or apartments, don't they have to provide that information in the permitting process? And has this been advertised in the newspaper 3 times like it's supposed to be? I assume the newspaper is the way we communicate the government to the people, not Facebook, even though you say you don't use Facebook, but you do use Facebook for advertising. But anyway, the road has been out of commission for 6 months. It's just now starting to be repaired. But some consideration's got to be given to that intersection. And if say it's state highway, whatever, but somebody's got to tell the state highway what's going on with all the people coming out of that subdivision. And I know this is going to be approved. So the only other thing I'd like to say is, I can see approving these types of trailer RV parks and stuff, out on the 4-lane where they got access to the 4-lane. But these were put right in, in Belchase, up in the housing, where people have lived for 25, 30 years. You got people that are there 2 or 3 weeks and then they're gone, and, coming up and down private streets in the middle of the night because they work shift work and different things. And so, like I say, I know it wouldn't be on the agenda if the votes weren't there, but I'm very much against it. And I think that our, consideration to the people of the parish versus the people that are coming in and just trying to do stuff like this has not been a level playing field. And with these approvals that are in my neighborhood, I hope the people that are trying to do it out on the other, down the road south of Jesuit Bend or in Jesuit Bend and below, they get approved. Everybody gets approved. Dang, I won't she's on the side. Everybody gets approved, it seems, if they are, somebody that's in the know. And so I just like to see that equal approvals on whether it's a subdivision or a zoning. It's still the same thing. You just rezone it to put the RV park in there. So, same thing. But I just want to say again, completely against it. I mean, they've really, on the other hand, it's been kind of good because had they not put that RV park in there, our sewage probably still wouldn't be repaired. I think that all went hand in hand because, we finally got our sewage after all these years. And it's been damaged. When it rains, they have to take and put a pump up there and pump it from here to here because it was all collapsed. And it's been like that for years. But now that they're putting in all these RV parks, they had no choice but to fix that thing. So in one respect, we are getting some sewage moved out of the neighborhoods now. Hopefully it's enough to handle all the people that's there now. But thanks for listening to me.
Okay. We'll take, and this, hear some more audience. Anyone else from the audience? Anyone else from the audience? Champagne?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mr. Jackson for pointing out that progress equals improvement to infrastructure, and I think that's what we're all about. The one issue I have with this is we held this back last week because we looked at what the sewer department wrote on here, and I quote, it said, it's the customer's responsibility to determine if the sewer connection is large enough and deep enough to provide adequate service for the new development. Keeping in mind the existing development, we want to make sure that this was done properly. So we requested that, and Mr. Newsom pursued it, and they supplied their actual sewer plans and added to our packet for the decision. But again, Infomark did not come back and say that this is the fix. And that's what we're asking for all along. They resubmitted the original letter from January 14th, and the same verbiage is there. So it doesn't say that now, with the addition to the permit, the plans for sewer, we now anticipate no issues. It's the same verbiage, so it doesn't say it fixed it. So without that, I can't move forward with moving this project forward. I can look at it and see they did the right thing, but I'm not the subject matter expert. This is where the sewer department has to step up and say, now after further review and looking at the plans provided by, the engineering plans provided by the developer, we do not anticipate any sewer problems. That's not there. So to also speak to Mr. Jackson's concern, I don't know if this is going to cause more problems or not. I see a copy of the engineering plans, but again, I need the subject matter expert, the sewer department or Infomark to tell me that this is good to go. And without that, I cannot move forward. I yield.
George?
Yes, I have a few concerns as well. For one thing, speaking about the big, massive apartment complexes going up right north of that, where is that sewer going to go? Is it going to go down 23 towards the sewer plant, I would assume, and that's going to put further stress on any other sewage further south of there. And I asked before, I would love to have an infrastructure study done. I mean, look, I'm all for expanding, but I do have, when these apartment complexes come in, they're going to rent because I know they're going to make them affordable enough to rent. And you get all of them guys flushing toilets, taking baths at the same time. It's gonna put a strain on even a new sewer system. The Concord's gonna be coming out to 23, and 23 is gonna be jamming up. It's gonna jam up right there. I would like more time to look at this and as I said, an infrastructure study. I mean, I think that's something we need to look at. I know we're expanding. I know there's word out there. Oh, there was 28,000 people in the parish at one time. Now there's 23,000. But you got to realize, Belchase has grown. The lower end has dwindled. But just because you only got 23,000 now doesn't mean you got an extra 5,000 in Belchase. When I think about this and I look at it, and that apartment complex has me very concerned. That's going to be a lot of water usage. Now, I just see something, and I know, Mr. Newsom's been working to try to get this, and it is just for a re-subdivision of a piece of property. And kind of puts us in a situation. We don't have a plan of what's going to go there. Now, if we agree to re-subdivide this property, that doesn't come back to us. If he wants to build duplexes, do what he's got to do, unless it's two RVs a spot, that doesn't come back before us. But it does go to the permit office. So I'm going to say, just if it does pass today, then it becomes a fight at the permit office to do battles there. I'm just trying to figure out what process. It puts us in a heck of a spot here because we're just looking for a re-subdivision of property. We don't have a set plan, but I'm just, saying, looking at this big, massive complex to the north, right there, and the curve, I do agree, that curve is dangerous right there. And if everyone's trying to turn at that curve and you're trying to come out of Concord right there, you're going to have to go downhill to come back uphill, because it's going to be very difficult. It's already difficult to get out now with the traffic. So I do have some reservation concern. I'm at the point I got to kind of agree with Councilmember Champagne right now. I think we need to look at this as fourth down. We might want to punt and revisit this. It's something we need to look at. It could become a serious issue, and a lot of extra traffic right there. I yield.
Yes, so I apologize in advance. Normally I talk to you beforehand, but being out of town all week. Again, my concern still is the same with sewer, because I'm having that problem in my district right now, and just adding more between my neighborhood that has a problem and the sewer plant is going, I have a feeling, cause more issues, especially with the apartment complex. My other question is, how are they going to get to these lots? Off South Concord Road? Is there going to be a road added? I'm looking at the plan. I don't see where the road's at. My main concern is it.
It's a 25-foot easement. Okay. Oh, it's different. Same amount?
So I think this is so my concern is you're basically having these people come out right on the corner of Belle Chase Highway and Concord? Or how far back is that? Yeah, can you answer?
Yes.
Because
Mr. Newsom,
You on?
So if you look at the plans,
yeah, what page? I'm looking.
there is a 25-foot easement.
Correct. Oh,
So if you look at the plans, if you set it up like this, you see South Concord Road, put that to you. So coming down South Concord Road, there is a 25-foot easement on basically the east side of the property.
Okay.
That's where the entrance to these.
So 25 feet off the highway?
No, this is way on the end of.
You turn on South Concord Road, but the easement starts 25 feet off the highway on Concord Road.
So this piece of property is, well, you know where I live, so it's right up the street from me. So it's probably 200 yards, maybe 200 yards down off Highway 23, where this property starts. You have, coming off the highway, you have Schlumberger.
Okay, yeah.
And you got Trey Lane.
So it's behind Schlumberger.
It's past Trey Lane, where the trailer parks
This
at.
is my concern. I'm looking at this trying to make sense of the highway.
I see the drawing's not very well done. They
I
show
don't
Highway
see Trey
23.
Lane and all that on here.
No.
That's why I was like, putting cars coming off right there on the highway. I have that issue
This
with
is-
Taco Bell with traffic jams. And
Understand,
almost that.
this drawing is not done very
All right,
well.
but my concern about the sewer still stands, so I yield, though. Thank you for the clarification.
back to you, Mr. Newsom.
Thank you. I know looks like we hashing this out again, which another time. So, again, let's all remember, this property has been zoned MH for I don't know how long. I made an email. I think the only one sitting up here probably can answer how long it's been zoned. Maybe Dr. Gouy. I don't know. So I don't know how long it's been zoned MH. So there is, under the MH zoning, I know we talked about that there are certain things you can do according to our zoning book that does not even come before this body. Doesn't come before this body. That's how we talked about the the apartment complex right north of the base. Did that come before this body? No. Why? Because it's zoned commercial. They can do it. So things in the zoning book go to the permit office. If it's zoned, it's properly zoned, it deals with the permits. They follow the permits, it does not come before this body. So we'll get those items knocked out. So zoning and subdivides, two different things. Two different things in my opinion. Sewer, talked about sewer. Mr. Jackson was correct. We had a horrible sewer crack on Concord for many years. It got fixed, appropriated money. This body, right here, non-council members, appropriated the money to fix it. Between engineering and fixing it, the council spent $1.2 million. They are repairing the other side of the street that broke during construction and stuff like that. So again, the sewer has been repaired, the sewer line, because it was cracked, broken, coming up in the streets. Traffic, somebody talked about traffic, U-turn lanes. If you come down Highway 23, there is a U-turn lane before you come out of South Concord. Talked about the influx of people from that apartment complex. That should have been done with DOTD and the permit department. If they felt it was sufficient, they didn't need a permit to do. Again, it's above what we should be doing. So again, there is another turning lane north, a U-turn lane, which is not. It's just an open. It's not a U-turn, but it's an opening that people can make a U-turn there north of Gondrella. This piece of property, if subdivided, will consist of 5 two-bedroom duplexes. The owner did tell me that he's not interested in putting any RVs if it's subdivided. Matter of fact, if it's subdivided, he can put less RVs in there. So he's not interested in RVs. We talked about the sewer. So, and I know some people have spoken. If this is the route this board's going to go, and I'm okay with I'm okay with I'm okay with the way everybody votes. No hit, no whatever they want to do. I understand, but ultimately I respect everybody's vote. But if this is the route we're going to need to do something about all subdivides then throughout the parish. Any type of extra stuff we're going to do here, we're going to have to really probably, I guess, shut it down, I guess. I don't know what's the right term, but this isn't, as I sent an email out to all my fellow colleagues with the duplexes, they have, and I don't know, I'd be to count the duplexes on South Concord that's been there. It's not a different type of development in this area. It's more in line with what's on South Concord. And if anybody has questions for me on it,
some more people.
that's fine. And I yield. Thank you.
Conovis?
That's the problem with giving the permit office more power. We took power away from myself and gave it to them. When he went and filed for this permit to rezone his property, he doesn't have to put what he's going to put there. Once he gets it rezoned, then he goes to the permit office and tells them what he needs to put there. Used to come back before us, but now it doesn't even do that. The permit office decides on everything. And did you say that new apartment complexes, they're going to their driveway goes to Concord and then on to Highway 23? No. This one does, but that new one, the big one, doesn't. Oh, I thought he said that it went that way.
Can you come to the mic, sir? Mr. Jackson, right?
Because
My name and address is still the same.
Hold on, one at a time. I'm sorry.
But once they get on Highway 23, they got to do a U-turn to go north.
No, yeah. Well, right now, there was a no U-turn sign, at the end of Concord right there because so many people were making U-turns. Somebody's ripped that up. It's been gone. Ronnie's right. Up just a little ways further, going back toward the base, it's only a quarter mile right there. There is a opening in the median, but I would not make a U-turn in that curve. If you do, you're nuts because those people are going 1,000,000 miles an hour. But the 44-unit apartment complex is almost right at the front gate of the base. So the driveway is parallel to the base gate, maybe 30 or 40 yards from it. So they're not going to be able to turn into that intersection and go north. They're going to have to go south, then come back and go north. Nobody's going to be going south. Everybody's going to be going north. So everybody's going to be making U-turns in and out of there. So, you know, to me, the U-turn lane should be a designated U-turn lane south of Concord Road because you would be ill-advised to put one in that curve. I would not make it. I've lived there for almost 30 years, and I wouldn't make a U-turn there. And right there at Concord, there's already a no U-turn sign there that I guess I don't know if the parish or the state put it up, but
State put it up.
yeah, well, it's been ripped up. People don't like the no U-turn sign, so they come and rip it out of the ground. So because they like making no U-turns right there, but really it needs to be just a little further south, right there before you get the Chevron plant. There should be a middle lane for them to make a U-turn because there are going to be a lot of people coming out there making U-turns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Champagne, are you finished? Yeah. Champagne?
Look, the issue ultimately is they want to turn one lot into 5 lots. I'm for it, 100% for it. But we have to make sure it doesn't do it at the expense of people that are already there. We asked the sewer department to go back and relook it, and they did. And the response we got, and I failed to cover this a moment ago, was sewer plan submitted, the customer must make sure the depth and size of the sewer outlet will fit their needs. That's nothing. That doesn't say anything. That says it's on the customer to decide if it's good. That's unacceptable. It should say something that Infomark has reviewed the plan submitted by the customer and it is adequate to fulfill the requirements of his subdivision. And it doesn't say that. And that's my issue. I'm okay with him doing this, following the rules and developing his property, subdividing, that's fine. Building duplexes, I hope so. I just have to make sure that when somebody mentioned flushing the toilet, it doesn't affect somebody else downstream, upstream. It doesn't clarify this. It doesn't say that this is good to go. And I'm not the expert to decide it. Somebody from Infomark needs to be here to answer that, or somebody from the sewer department. No one's here. They're at the police jury association thing. In my mind, that's unacceptable too. The most important thing going on today, this Thursday, is Plaquemines Parish business. And I don't have nobody here to answer the questions that we need answered. That's unacceptable as well. We need to change that. So, Mr. Newsom, I'm all in favor of this, but I want to make sure that what they put in the ground, the sewer system they put in place is good. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of questions we're going to have to answer if this gets developed and the sewer don't work. I guarantee you, Mr. Jackson, you'll be back here complaining that now your sewer doesn't work. We owe you that. And that's where I'm at. I'm all for the subdivision, but I need clarification on the sewer. I yield.
Dr. Gouy?
Yeah, real quick, maybe this was, I didn't hear it maybe, which is quite possible. We've had a specific donut shop and subdivisions whenever there's a increased ingress or egress on the Highway 23, the State Department of DOTD has to come in and give approval on the permit. Is this situation, and I know that the apartments are not what we're talking about, but they don't have a permit. They're affecting Highway 23. This is not directly on Highway 23, but it's affecting. Is that something that DOTD has to authorize? You turn lanes and. Nobody got an answer? I did.
I think that's why DOT's not involved, because they're not going to get a permit yet.
You got the answer you need, Dr. Gouy?
I'm good.
Mr. Newsom? Mr. Newsom?
Mr. Billy has.
I was going to kind of answer that for Mr. Gouy, that we know the project on Woodland Highway required a lot of information to go into getting a turn lane, just to go into that little small residential neighborhood on a 2-lane. and I'm not a part of that section, but I would assume that DOTD will be involved in making that decision once a permit is filed to do anything else, because this is only a zoning, not a zoning, or a subdividing question. So that's a little premature to start talking about what's going to happen later. And again, nothing may happen later, but we all know something will happen later. But one of y'all hit the nail on the head. If you're going to, we talked about it for another project, it should be the same for every project. Now, different districts will require different things, obviously, but the consistency should be the same.
Mr. Newsom, where we at on this?
Yeah, just this subdivide, like I said, is about, I don't know, 200 yards off Highway 23. DOTD is, they're not going to get involved in a subdivide coming off of this piece. If it's subdivided, if it's not subdivided, it's not going to, DOTD is not going to, there's nothing that requires this property owner to do anything because that's off the highway. It's just that, not for the subdivide. Subdivide. If you subdivide it, they're not. Yeah. Again, I guess I thought I went through the proper channels here to get some stuff done with the sewer plan, but evidently I did not. I would like to know or see from my colleagues, and I know what Mr. Champagne has said about Infomark. I guess we're going to have to get something from Infomark. Something says that I know Mr. Phillips is doing a lot of work for Infomark now. So,
what's your pledge? You want to?
Well, I got somebody else in the queue. I'd like to let them.
Okay, so Mitch, and then you could tell us what you want to do with this, whether you want to defer it or not.
All right, get back to DOTD. You know, getting back to DOTD and this big apartment complex coming in, I would like to know what was the plan for that, for them to enter Highway 23 as well. Because the way I look at it right there, basically, it's kind of hard to see coming out of that new complex right there. I don't want to, you know. But no, but DOTD, did they approve the way for them to enter the highway there? They didn't put.
That was approved in 2021. What I can do is I can get with Ms. Amitra and ask her what was the process in regards to that. But that was, and I have the documentation of when those apartments was approved with the LHITC and all that. So that was out of our scope, you know. So, but what I will do is I will ask Ms. Amitra what would be the, you know, what was the process for that.
Well, because yeah, I mean, I have concerns.
They're valid concerns, yeah.
About the way they're going to pull out right there.
Correct.
They're going to be coming straight out. There's no turn on lane and veer on.
Right.
It's, you know, I know another subdivision we're talking about has to put a turning lane in to enter his subdivision, but this is, you know, it's a big concern because it is a curve right there.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's just pulling out into traffic straight out of a, you know, out of a complex. It's concerning to me, that's all. But DOTD, I would like to know if they had any input when this project went in the plan.
Mr. Konovich.
The people doing that project wanted to do it on the east bank, and where they wanted to put it, they'd had to rezone the property, and we denied the rezoning. So they went and found a piece of property that was zoned already to put that, so it didn't come before us.
Okay.
That's why I said permit office has too much power. They couldn't have stopped it. Well, they'd have had to come to us to get it permitted again, and we could have stopped it again. So that's why they got where they at. They didn't even have to come to us to agree on it.
So, Mr. Newsom, we've discussed this many times. Are you still want to offer this, or you want to?
I'll defer it again and try to get some information from whatever information. Please contact me with what information you need, and I'll try to call, I guess, Infomark and see. So please reach out.
Thank you for
that.
that.
I defer it.
Next item, please.
A resolution to appoint the members whose term has expired on the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotnovich. This has changes.
On line 21, Avery Riley Jr. has been removed, and Jacques Touze is now representing the legal department.
Offered by, who offered? Mr. Conovich, second by Mitch. Audience? Administration? Machine is open. Dr. Gu is out. Akov? I did ask. Oh, yeah, okay. I cleared it.
I don't know.
Can you clear this? There we go. I'm sorry? Okay. Ms. McCarthy?
Go ahead.
Who does the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee report to? Who do they advise? Does anybody have that answer?
I would assume it's going to be Ms. Kim Buck, Director of Coastal.
All right, I yield, let Ms. McCarty go, and then I might have another question.
Or anybody, can you tell me how the people for this board were chosen? Because I don't recall receiving a request for names.
I know one's a fisherman, one's with the police department, one's with an oil company, one's a...
But how were they chosen? Was this sent to you, or?
I don't think this is any new names. These names have been on here for a couple of years. The switch you're doing right now is because it's from legal to more of an administration, and the guy who's leaving is no longer in the legal department, so they're just filling in with someone else from the legal department. But the other names have been on there for years.
But I think her question is, how were the people selected? I don't
Yeah,
think
and
it's-
should
I don't
we
know.
review
It's-
each
What is the
person?
process?
I don't know.
Because it seems like they're represented by district.
I don't think it's so much by district. It's by industry. If you look, they got commercial fishermen, recreational fishermen, stuff like that. It's not necessarily by district.
Okay.
And again, I apologize. I did not research being out of town all week. I asked you to defer this one more time. I think we're going to have a conflict of interest with one of the appointees due to who the advisory board reports to. Can we defer and talk to administration? It's their appointee, and until one more meeting where we can solve that.
So 9H is deferred. Next.
I, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a donation for the firefighting department and to amend the 2025 firefighting fund, operating revenue and expenditure budgets, firefighting general department, and to accept a donation for the ambulance department and to amend the 2025 public health fund, operating revenue and expenditure budget, ambulances general department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Offers. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Patty. Audience?
Clarence Brooks, 156, Enos Cameron and I. That's not a whole lot of money. So what that money gonna go to for equipment or just to personnel, extra money? Where it gonna go at?
Schultz, you wanna?
It's not a whole lot of money.
I'm sorry. You in?
Gotcha. You on?
According to where we're on the firefighting one.
Yes.
According to the fund that it's going to Brafeway, and it's materials general. So it's going to just regular small equipment, stuff like that, I would assume. So, but it's going to that department's fund, so it will be for Brafeway.
All right, it's not a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Trying to get to Mr. Conovich. There we go. Is it?
Yes. The only thing I got, during the snowstorm, I want to thank the firemen and base for going out on calls and picking up people. Kind of disappointed in the ambulance service that when they got calls, they wouldn't roll. And, the air base and the firemen did. So, here we sat fighting for their budget, and I know it might have been dangerous, but you didn't have to go full speed getting there.
My first time hearing that. Okay, machine is open. And it's passed with all council members present. Next item, please.
J, a resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to negotiate, execute, perfect, and enforce any and all documents required to apply for a LGAP from the Office of Community Development in the amount of $300,000 to purchase vehicles for the following departments: 1 mid-size pickup for buildings, 1 half-ton pickup for flood control, 1 small-size 4-door SUV for finance and libraries, and electronic survey equipment for the parish personnel, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Our offer is read. Second by Mr. Champagne. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Councilman Konovich?
Y'all didn't vote last meeting to buy all these vehicles?
It was offered last week.
And this is a grant we get now? So is that going to be extra money over what they voted for last meeting?
Yes, this is totally separate from that. This was a second batch that was specifically said, let's pull from this pool,
So it's
the
more,
LGAP pool.
more vehicles.
Correct.
Saw that. The LGAP grant can only be used for vehicles and equipment. So we're applying for the grant, and these are the vehicles. We go through and pick out which departments need which vehicles, and these are the vehicles we selected.
So now the money they voted for last one to buy the vehicles, y'all giving it back? Or we buying more vehicles?
We're buying more vehicles with the grant money that we're receiving.
Thank you.
Newsom?
Yeah, when we sat down in the president's office and went over a couple hours of vehicles, this was never brought up that we were doing this. This just popped up this week that y'all doing this? Because if you knew you were applying for these grants to get these vehicles, why didn't you say, well, let's hold off on buying these vehicles, and we got a grant out there that we're looking for that we might can take some of this. But I think y'all duped us. I'll be honest with you, you duped me. I don't know about us, but well, you voted
No one
against it.
was duped, Mr. Newsom.
Well, why didn't we
receive the LGAP grant? Last year, we did not receive it because it was applied for too late.
Okay, I understand.
Ms. Paul has been working on this grant, and we may not get it, but we want to use the funds. We might get it, and we want to use the funds for vehicles that we did not put in the other pool of vehicles. These departments are in need of vehicles also, but in the other pool of vehicles, we selected those departments and those vehicles for where they were most needed.
So, but you say when we bought a vehicle for buildings, we bought vehicles for flood control, we bought, I don't know if we bought for libraries, but
We did not.
so, why? This should have been brought up to us before. We should have said, well, let's hold off on vehicles. We might get vehicles through this grant. Look, we might not have to spend as much money on this stuff, but of course it's a grant, so I'm gonna support it, but why can't, let's make sure this body knows all the facts and knows what we're doing. It seems like nobody know, I didn't know this was coming, that we were buying more vehicles, because we might have not had to buy those other vehicles. I yield.
Mr. Schultz?
Yes, so, again, this is grant money. Last year we didn't receive any. The year before we only received 100,000. There's no guarantee we're going to get anything from this. And one is for our libraries. We didn't buy anything for them. Flood control, I know for a fact because I've seen the list. We need about 6 or 7 new other vehicles too. I mean, our flood control fleet is just as bad as boat harbors. Like they're all, I mean, this is just additional vehicles that if we get grant money to use them to slowly replace our fleet that has been neglected for so long. So again, there's no guarantee that we'll get any money from this grant because like I said, last year we received none. Our first year in office we received $100,000, which bought 2 vehicles, I think. So, I mean, and then the survey equipment obviously was not anywhere in that equipment list. I yield.
Mr. Newsom.
Yes. Mr. Schultz, you were in the same meeting I was in, and we talked about, was this ever talked about, we might have extra money to buy some vehicles, and we could have looked at it? So this was not talked about. I didn't realize it. So I didn't. So thank you.
Okay.
I think, again, we're having a problem with communication. Perhaps some people on this board are familiar with what's going on, but the others were not informed. I don't know if we have to do a resolution to improve their communication, but I think when you have meetings of that sort and you discuss things like what's needed, vehicles, can we all be CC'd to know the results or what was discussed in the meeting? So we won't be at a loss at the last minute. You know, we don't know, like I heard Mr. Schultz say, he knows that we need other vehicles. I don't know anything about the vehicle situation.
I think Mr. Schultz can confirm when we did have the vehicle meeting, everyone was invited, the number that we could have there was invited, and everyone was informed to my knowledge. But if you want us to send out everything, we'll send out everything.
Yes, it's better for us to be able to say that we received it and couldn't attend than to be in the dark. Thank you.
Mr. Gonovich.
No, I never received the email, a text, a bird pigeon saying that we was having this meeting. In fact, I'm never in a meeting, never been told about meetings, and that's why I'll be voting no.
Yeah, Mr. Wicker.
Let me just say a couple things. So, Mr. Newsom, I apologize that upset you and you feel like you were left out. 2, I would like to thank every one of you very much for the approvals you have recently given to buy vehicles. We have distributed vehicle list. I know I've distributed to every single councilman. I know that for a fact, and I can pull that email. Right. All right. So when we send you a list of what we have and what we're asking for, that's the list. If we need 20 and we get 12 approved, and we find, well, there's an opportunity with a grant to come buy some more, I don't really think that's pulling the wool over your eyes. If there's another grant comes up tomorrow that we can apply for, we're going to ask for 3 more trucks. Trucks and equipment is something you're always going to need. There's always going to be a need for it. This is actually a benefit to the budget. You budgeted money for us to go buy trucks. This is a blessing coming in from a separate source that doesn't cost the parish a penny. So I just feel like you shouldn't be, nothing deceptive was done. That is not the point. And Mr. Edwards would let me add too, we have discussions every week on Wednesdays now to go over agenda items. I don't know how you can get invited to that. Maybe Mr. Edwards can fill you in on that. But anytime there's any issues with agendas, it's no surprise on an agenda today, right? I would hope nobody saw this at 1:59 p.m. today. So anytime you guys have any issues with anything to do with me or any other department, call me and let's work it out before we sit here and have to go through this like we've never seen it before. Thank you.
Mr. Conley, before you come, but there's no set time for us to meet. And let me just say that we've met twice, but if there's no set time for when we meet to go over agenda. We didn't do any for this meeting here whatsoever, so I just want to said that.
Because you were out of town, right?
I'm just saying,
Okay.
but we didn't have anything at all for this one.
Okay.
Mr. Conovich?
Mr. Edwards asked me about joining those meetings, and I told him if you make them for 4 o'clock, I'll be there. And what was the answer to that meeting?
We didn't get no response.
I get a list of the trucks you got in the miles, and y'all make it, it's got 250,000 miles on it, it's got to go. My truck has 258,000 miles on it, but if you take care of vehicles, a diesel truck will last you forever.
Mitch?
I see both sides of this. The way I look at it, when you got a grant, we get grants, something that we haven't gotten in so many years because, we didn't chase them. Now we do have a grant writing firm, someone hired now to help us get these grants that we've been missing out on. A grant is a grant. I mean, to vote against a grant is to me, you're giving your money away. I mean, this is money we wasn't getting, and we finally getting it. And I think you need to utilize grant money as much as you can to your advantage. And for that reason, I will vote for it because, as you said, this is extra. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe this grant money appeared after our last vote.
It's specific to these items as well. We can't go build a playground in Burris or in Braithwaite. It's specific to vehicles and equipment.
So what I'm saying is, we've been lacking. All I've heard from people in the past is that we've missed out on so much, and we're missing out. And now we're going to take advantage of grants when we can get them. That's the way I look for it. I've asked for grant writers, a grant writing firm when I first got in office, and we finally got one now. And I think it behooves us to turn down grant money to buy something with, even though we did budget, like you said, Mr. Witchers, we did budget money for those vehicles. So we didn't step out of budget doing that. And I want that to be known. But no, don't turn down no grant money.
Schultz.
I was basically going to say the same thing. We've been preaching for 2 years for the administration to go get grants, and they're finally doing it, and then we're questioning it. And I believe this grant doesn't have a match to it. This is 100% funded. So it's free money out there. So why not apply for it and start replacing some of our fleet? Again, we didn't get any money last year. This is a wish list, I guess you'll say. Hopefully the state gives us all of it. If they give us 50,000, okay, it can buy one of these vehicles. So that's all I'm saying is the administration is actually doing what we've been preaching for 2 years and go and get this grant. I yield.
Patty?
I just want to be clear that I wasn't saying that I don't think grants are good, because I worked real hard on getting one, but just communication, because I don't even know what's up with that grant that I received. So I appreciate it, and I say go after every grant. Thank you.
I just want to say this, the agenda, most of us have it for 2 weeks, some of us have it for a week or whatever. You see something on it, you have questions on it. My office, I'm there every day. Give me a call. I'll answer whatever question you may have. There's no hiding, no trying to get something over on somebody. My office is open, and I'm there. Give me a call.
If no more discussion, I'm call for the machine open for vote. Everyone present voting yes. Next item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Kognovich.
Okay, a resolution authorizing the Plaquemines Parish government to enter into a CEA with the Louisiana Office of Public Health to provide them with office space at 3706 Main Street, Belchase, Plaquemines Parish Health Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Offered. Second by Chris Schultz. Any questions or comments from the audience? Mr. Hendry? State your name, address, social security number.
Arthur Henry Belchase. Listen, is this going to be a fully staffed office? Is this office going to be fully staffed?
Still, anyone in the administration can answer that question?
What is it?
I did go to the health department to question this, Mr. Henry. There is someone that will be coming in, I think Shamanda told me 3 days a week to do the week program, shots, and other things that may be needed by the residents.
Okay. That's important for the people, That's what people really need health care.
Table? Any conference table, machine is open. And it passed with all council members present. Next item, please.
L, an ordinance to increase the compensation of the parish president for the Plaquemines Parish government from $100,000 per year to $140,000 per year, effective January 1st, 2027, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Champagne.
Be second by Dr. Gouy. Audience.
Arthur Henry, Belchase. I concur.
Thank you for your support, Mr. Hendry. Mr. Conover. I'm glad you didn't say it, Mr. Champagne.
Hey, I want to just go ahead and kind of paint the picture so the our constituents out there know that we're just not giving raises, but kind of give some background so they have it for their own edification. The last raise granted to the parish president was done in 2009. This parish operates about a $40 million a year budget, and we haven't had a raise since then. You know, we want to draw a larger talent pool and have them be able to afford to step out of the private sector. And someone who operates a budget that big, we want to pull some talent. They may be a CEO for another big company, and they have to be able to afford to take a break and come serve the public, be able to afford to do so. I looked at the other parish presidents with the help of Mr. Schultz here, and the average compensation is $160,000 a year for other parish presidents. St. James Parish, who's smaller than us, is $193,000 a year for the parish president. So I think by doing this, you know, it'll expand the talent pool and help us bring the best and the brightest that we already have in this parish, and they can afford to come do this. Right now, we have directors who make as much as the parish president. I've never seen that in an organization before. And this would not take effect until it was January of 2027. So I just want to make sure everybody was clear on how this came about. So, barring any questions, I yield.
Patty.
I'd like to support what Mr. Champagne said about increasing the potential of people to come and apply for this position. We are now running a large corporate organization, like you said, over, what, 40 million? But the responsibility that comes with that position is one of higher than 40 million, because we deal not only with balancing a budget, but we deal with people's lives. And you can't put a price on those lives. And in comparison, look at what we pay the port director. Twice that much. I yield. Thank you. Oh, no, one more thing. I think we also need to entice people who have business skills and knowledge to run for council. And I don't know what in comparison, the rates are for other districts. Much lower than this? That's crazy. Because this has become a full-time job for me. And it requires a plethora of knowledge to run this council. Thank you.
On the council side, I gotta say that if the ordinance passes in March, I'll be doing an ordinance to cut our and your assistant salary in half, because the port pays half our salaries. Thank you.
That is not up for discussion, and no, I'm saying, but we have to welcome what you say like anything else, and on that. So our machine is open. And it's that's 7 yes and 1 no from Mr. Chose. Mr. Francis. Next item, please.
An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, Southern Oaks Subdivision Street Repair Project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Champagne.
Offer Mr. Champagne, second by Councilman Chose. Audience.
over in Bell Chase. Councilman Champagne, good deals to my neighborhood. Good job.
Sound like money under the table.
Something going on with that, Mitch. I understand that. I've never heard that. I never heard him be that loud on anything. That's Champagne.
Again, just to paint the picture for this is just an old section of Bell Chase that I don't want to use. It's just been kind of forgotten about. The roads there are completely degraded. The asphalt's completely falling apart. You can't do anything to repair it. You spend more money patching the holes. As soon as you patch the holes, the coal patch is out. It's just horrible. We repaired part of it last year, and this will also fix the remaining part of that section and the repairs on Main Street. And as Arthur Henry said, it's much needed. He lives there and he can tell you, and he often doesn't agree that easily. So if he's agreeing that easily, it's in much need. I yield.
I like how you brought Mr. Henry back into this. Mr. Conover.
Can you tell me where it's at?
Behind the Croatian Center, that whole neighborhood.
You see him over there. Huh? Okay, machine is open. And when influenced by Mr. Henry, it is 8 with everybody present voting yes. Next item, please.
An ordinance to require a two-third vote of the council for any funds to be transferred or expended from the fund balance designated for emergencies and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
Offered by Mr. Schultz, second by Councilwoman Patty. Audience, administration.
So yes, this is actually going off from my agreements with you, Reverend Edwards, about over the past 2 years, how you're saying there's nothing that defines what emergencies are and all that. So to try to do that in an ordinance, I thought was a little bit too complicated and everything, and then you never know what could pop up. So at least with a 2/3 vote, it takes 6 members to actually move money in from the emergencies to try to make it more truly emergencies and try and basically make administration follow the budget, stay within their budget, all that. So that's what this is about, is just requiring that 2/3 vote versus a simple 5 council member vote.
Age bring on wisdom, man. That's all I can say. Mr. Konovich.
Yeah, I'm 100% against this. The group in Bell Chase only needs to turn one person. District 7, half of 8, 9, and District 1, we'd have to turn 2 people in Bell Chase to get any of this money. So this is just going to be a slush fund for Bell Chase, I look for.
Mr. Newsom.
I think this council works as holistically for the parish. I don't think we divide it in sections. I think if it's good, we do it. I don't have a problem with it. Thank you.
Champagne.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment to address Mr. Kognovich. I know you're basing your beliefs on maybe some past councils, but I have to say we look at everything holistically, and I think you'll see that our efforts, we've really been focused on the lower end of the parish, and I think that we do a very good job working with East Bank, lower end. We're not looking at it that way. So I get your concerns, but I think we have enough wisdom up here to do the right thing by the people of this parish. Are you?
Mr. Konovich.
Well, we'll see in a couple ordinance if we're going to work for the whole parish or just the north end.
Let me just say this on this. I'm not a flipper for anyone. Nobody can just flip me, and I won't ever be flipped. I can't speak for the other people that's a part of the scenario that Ms. County, but I know one person, you can't just flip me. So I just want to put that on record. And I'm supporting this because at least it's saying 6, and I feel better with it saying 6 and talking to anybody on here to get them to be a part of the 6. So again, thank you, my young brother, for agreeing with the old man on something. Machine is open. And it passes with 7, with Mr. Konovich voting no. Next item, please.
An ordinance to amend the 2025 general fund operating expenditure budget, Parish Council District 3 Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
Second by Mr. Newsom. Any comments, questions from the audience? From the administration? Mr. Schultz?
So just for everybody's knowledge, this is my assistant's computer basically is going dead. This is taking it from my operating into capital and for the basic all-in-one computer screen that every other assistant has. Nothing special.
I have no problem with that. I also think that if the money's in our budget, we really should have the ability to decide what the money's going to go for. That's it.
Machine is open. And it passed with all council members present. Next item, please.
9S, a resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to negotiate, execute, perfect, and enforce any and all documents required to apply for a community water enrichment funds from the Office of Community Development in the amount of $350,000 to begin Phase 2 of the Port Sulphur 20-inch waterline relocation project. Waterline is currently positioned in the back levee, and Plaquemines Parish government is currently working on Phase 1, which is to perform tie-ins to the existing 12-inch and 16-inch utilities, directionally bore under Highway 23 and extend a new 20-inch water main, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
I offer on behalf of Councilmember LaFrance. Then second by Mitch. Any questions, comments from the audience? From the administration? From the table? Machine is open. And it passed with all 8 council members present. Next item, please.
An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, resurface Highway 11 Empire to Triumph project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Kotnovich.
Offered by Ms. Konovich, second by Mitch. Any comments, questions from the audience? Administration? Mr. Champagne?
I looked at this ordinance and reached out to the parish engineering department to find out, is this enough money to do Highway 11? I was told, no, it would take double that. And I want to do it right. You know, I think that we owe it to the low end of the parish to do this thing right from one end to the other. We hired a grant firm, the administration did, and I think it'd be prudent for us to make this a grant priority and do the matching funds and fix this right. This requires not only the overlay of the road, the sewer, the adjoining lift stations collapsing and causing issues. I want to fix this thing right. I want to have a patch that's going to repair that's going to last 20 years. You know, $5 million doesn't do the whole thing. It only does a portion of it. I think we would be remiss in not going after the whole thing, getting the grant writer to go after it and get us what we need, and coming up with the matching funds. And if the matching funds, say it's a $10 million job, as the parish engineer said, and we have the match for $1 million, I'd vote for that all day long. But it's done right. $5 million it just doesn't do it. And then it comes out of the parish pockets where we may be missing an opportunity to get free money, as we put it earlier, or grant money. So I'm committed to doing this. And to your comment earlier, Councilman Kotnovich, I want to do this right. We've been talking about this for a couple of years. I just think we need to all get behind this thing and get them work with the administration to get this grant. I think it's incumbent on us to get our representative and our state senators to help us work this and push this forward, because this is important to us. So I don't think taking $5 million out of our bank is not smart when we can take another approach and do it right and get a better project. I yield.
Councilman Mitch?
Yeah, I mean, we got the same issue north of this Empire Bridge. I would like to see all of Highway 11 from Home Place to Triumph get overlaid. And I mean, while I agree with Mr. Konovich, we get to that point to where this road, it's no longer, when you want to talk grants, but we need to work on grants. If we're going to get grants, we need to start yesterday. And is it a possibility? It should be a top priority as well, just like our water system. And now that we do have a grant writing firm, I think we lay this in their lap and say, this is no longer a want, it's a need. Because, I agree with Councilmember Konovich and I support him on this. I would like to support it with going with the $10 million, but looking at grant, try to find a grant. And I'd put a time frame on this. If we can't get a grant in a certain time frame, we got to start moving. We got to start spending some money. We got a few dollars in the budget. I understand that. But, we can't keep living kind of in the conditions we are. You already know the water system's down the road. You already know, a lot of residents use Highway 11. A lot of businesses still use Highway 11. And, of course, you are divided right now because we got a bridge that don't work. So they're on a highway down there. But, so, I totally get it. Totally understand it. But if there's an opportunity to get a grant, maybe we look at that, but I don't want to waste too much time on saying, well, we talked about it last meeting and we didn't get moved. I'd like to, if we go that route, I'd like to leave this meeting today and knowing something's going to be getting started on tomorrow. We do have matching funds to match a grant now, but we could talk about it till we blue in the face, but we have to act if that's the route we're going to take. But, I support the idea, Mr. Konovich, but I would like to explore the grant opportunity quickly, and let's see what can happen.
So, you must have read my mind because I was actually going to say the same thing because we appropriated, 1.3, 1.5 and 2 years ago, and we told the administration, go get a grant. I know we just hired a grant writer. I was going to ask you if you could defer it for maybe 2 months, 3 months, and see what grants we can get or possibly apply for. Because I'm not opposed to spending it. I would like to change the funding source a little bit, some out of emergencies, because it is emergency. It was emergency 2 years ago when I drove it. It was horrible. I told you I went down then, drove it. It was horrible. So I would rather take a little bit out of emergencies, a little bit out of surplus where it's not all coming out of the surplus fund. I'm not opposed to it, but I would ask, since we just hired a grant writer, maybe deferring it for 2 months and give it basically what Mitch said, have a time frame and say, all right, if nothing happens and we got nothing, then we might move at that point and say, because I agree with you, it's needed. It's just, we should have went after a grant 2 years ago, but that's in the past at this point. So let's put a timeline on, like Mitch said, and see. That's why I have to say I yield.
Well, for the last 2 years, I've been on the Federal Highway Commission, and I've been forwarding emails to the administration about grants. We've never gotten one. I don't know if they ever put in for one. Grant writer's been here how long now? And do we know if she wrote for a grant yet? Any kind of grants?
Apply for one.
No, she has not applied for a grant for Highway 11 yet. No, we do have a priority list there, and we will be next week going over the priority list of the sources of grants that we can apply for certain things. But no, she has not till today put an application in to apply for a grant for Highway 11, but it is top priority.
Do you know what grant she's put in for?
That's what I said. Next week, I'll be able to forward that to you, what she will be putting in for, because you don't just apply for a grant. The grant has to align with the work that needs to be done, income, all of those things are a part of the grant process. So we had a meeting with her probably about 2 weeks ago. And then next week we'll have a list of the grants, the application, where the source of funds will be coming from. But we are in the process of doing that. But then also we have to remember that even in applying for grants, that's like an 18-month process. That could be a 2-year process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So in the event that we do apply for the grant and it's 3 years later, what is our, I guess, our alternative too? Because we still would be here saying that we didn't get the grant, but we could have applied for the grant. You know what I mean? But the process, oh yeah, the process has started.
But
Yeah, well, I'm letting you know now where we stand. We met with her. She'll have it for us by the middle of next week. We gave her the priorities, we gave her the list, and she is actively working.
well, roads and water should have been at the top of that list. I don't know what else would be on it.
Well, I said infrastructure and water. Yes, we gave her a list, and those are the top lists. Infrastructure and water, that's all. Infrastructure and water, wherever we can get it.
Mr. Newsom? I'm sorry, you finished? No, sorry. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Can you get him back on again? I'm sorry, Mr. Cunningham.
I'm gonna defer it. I'm not taking it off because. All right.
So, and again, so we said we got, can that list be forwarded to us? Can you forward it to, because
So I just said that she'll have it for us next week, and once she have the list of the structure for us, we will forward that to you.
when did y'all come up with a list?
Oh, we met with her 2 weeks ago. We just gave her all of the things that we had from engineering that was actually already in a database, in the actual a list that engineering already had. So it's not just like new projects. They gave us a list. Highway 11 was on there. Highway 11's been in the capital outlay. Those things have been priorities for us.
Forward the list.
No problem.
Thank you.
Can you put his mic on?
He's on.
I'd like to mention, I do know that in some of my discussions with some of the administration that we did get a really good person in this grant writing firm. I heard she did some great jobs in the other parish she worked in, phenomenal job. And that's why I want to give her a chance and her firm a chance to move forward on this. I do think it is an emergency because we have to treat it as that, because even the little repairs we just did, right beyond those repairs are falling off again. There's a lot of business. When you look at business, you look at Daybrook and West Bank Fishing. That's big income that runs off of Highway 11. They have no access from Highway 23. So that's big business. So when you look at what's the value, you got all the grocery stores, you got a few restaurants, all the way from Triumph, from Home Place to Empire is not quite as much, but it's still residential. You have a lot of chartered guides, a lot of fishing operations that work in those areas. So it is a very viable highway to our lower end. And, when you take into, the businesses, Daybrook and West Bank do have a lot of influence on income in that area. So, I want to give her a chance because I heard but we need to move this up the list. I know we had a list before that's been engineered.
It's a priority. It's the top of
But I just wanted to mention the fact that I heard many good things about her and everything.
Would you like me to elaborate?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay.
Go ahead, because I know she was St. Tammany.
She was St. Tammany. She came in just as similar to how Paula was. She turned them around. I think when she left, they had 5 people in her grant department. And she gave us a list of all the grants that she had actually not just applied for, but she actually received. And they were in several million. So she knows our situation. She knows our constituent number. She knows our concerns, and she showed us how she was able to turn it around. And so now she has her own firm. Well, ELOS. She works for ELOS. And so she has really been instrumental in getting us on a path, because grants, but she actually helped us get it structured based upon what we actually had. So like I said, next week we'll definitely be able to have that list for you all and let you all know in which direction we're going.
Skanovich.
Yeah, I'm going to defer it, but it's not going to be deferred for months on the end. If I don't see anything getting done, I'm going ahead with it. And if it does get voted on, we'll have matching money in the fund already. But I'm not waiting forever, because I think we've waited long enough down the road to get a road fixed when we fixing streets up here every week. Thank you.
And I just want to say, I'm excited about that. But again, while we might be the smallest area, when we talk about $5 million, our water system and our pipes is in some serious condition in the English Turn area. And we might could do that less than $5 million. So I'm just hoping that we on the top, somewhere on that list also. Next item, please.
Okay, we are going back to introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
We have
No, we have an item that I think finance want to bring up.
That's this.
Okay.
Ordinance to amend the 2025 General Fund Operating Expenditure Budget Legal Judgments Department for payment of pending legal claim and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. That's it.
Oh, for that. No, we just introduced, it's just being introduced right now. But that's sort of addressed the thing we was talking about earlier with the lady. Okay.
10, approval of the minutes from the January 30th, 2025 regular meeting.
Unanimous second. Machine is open. And it passed. I'm sorry?
Verbal vote for yes.
A verbal yes, okay. Then it passes unanimous. Next.
11, new business, introduction of resolutions where suspension is being sought. A resolution calling a special election to fill the vacancy in the office of Constable for Justice of the Peace, Ward 5, Parish of Plaquemine, State of Louisiana, and other matters in connection therewith. Councilmember Kotnovich.
Second. Audience, administration, table.
This is just for the suspension.
Okay. And it's mentioned.
I'm sorry, exit out. A resolution calling a special election to fill the vacancy in the office of Constable for Justice of the Peace, Ward 5, Parish of Plaquemine, State of Louisiana, and other matters in connection therewith. Councilmember Kotnovich.
August 2nd. Any comments from the audience? Administration, table, machine is open for voting. And it passed with all council members present, that's present with Mr. LaFrance absent. Next item.
Adjournment.
Offer. Thank you.
Go where?
Vote.
Okay, machine's open.
Crystal. Oh.
Oh. Shows no and 6 yes.
Okay, the meeting adjourned at
32.
The meeting is adjourned at 4:32.